Good morning, it's Brigitte. Okay, listen, this is some update on the winter seafood processing information for Alaska. There's a company called, jobs are going to be up in a place called Dutch Harbor, and that's up north. And you see the weather behind me. It's going to be worse. It's raining now, and I'll talk about me being here in the winter at Petersburg as well. But they do hire. If you go to Alaska Works, and you'll see who's hiring beginning January. It's going to be a contract for January through April. There are people that work this all year. I'm not one of them. But they say in Dutch Harbor, it's going to be very cold there. But there's a company called Westward. They're hiring right now. So if you're going to do it, go get your application now. But it's for January through April. It is cold. They're only like, they say they're only 6 to 8. There's 3 people in one room, a shower in the middle, and 3 people in another. The food is good. There's another company called Unicy. There's another company called Trident. They will be hiring for the contracts in January and April for seafood processing. That's the entry level position. They say, I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna tell you, but they say they make $4 grand every couple of weeks too. They do 12-hour shifts, and overtime is available, but they only do 12-hour shifts, and you can work overtime if you want to. That means you're still making money that you want to make if you want to make it, but that the season is busy. They don't have days off. It's from January through March or April. That's when the contracts are. Westward is hiring right now. I might do a season up there just to know for sure so I can tell everybody the truth about it. I'm only giving you secondhand information from what I have heard. There are people here in Petersburg that do work in Dutch Harbor. They leave there in April and then they come on over here in June. And that's just what they do. If you want to do this seafood processing stuff all year, the companies don't care if you go back and forth, but it's Westward up there, Unicy, Trident. There could be some more. I don't know. I'm just giving you some information of what I've heard. And I may fill out an application to see. I'm here in Petersburg. Salmon season has ended, and crab season will begin October 1st. And that crab season begins October 1st. And you can stay. You can't go home and they bring you back, but you can stay after the salmon season up until October 1st. Now, September sometime is when salmon season ends. Ours is done. So now we're going through our days like this. It's up and down. I might work a day and be off a day, work 6 hours here, 8 hours there, 4 hours there. Who knows? But my position here is I'm trying to see if I can make it through November to do 6 months. And if we can, then my wife and I will live 6 months here in Alaska and 6 months out in the States because she loves this weather. It's not my kind of weather. Let's talk about the weather. The weather up in Dutch Harbor is going to be cold and it's going to be snowing. Do not fool yourself. It's raining here. So you might need a light box, right? But that's the information I have. Go to Alaska Works and see if that something's going to work out for you, because that means you can work differently. This is different kind of work, and it's a different way to live. It's a different way to be, and it's good money. But I can't guarantee what's happening up at Dutch Harbor. I'm gonna give you some information. Westward Seafoods is hiring. Put your application in right now if you want to get there in January. Now, what I also heard was that Westward will only pay from Seattle to Dutch Harbor. That the other companies do pay your whole trip in from wherever you are to Dutch Harbor. So those are some of the, and yes, you have room and board, and yes, they feed you. All of them feed you, and you have to pay for the room and board. Maybe it's $5 a day, maybe it's $15 a day. It's something, but it's minuscule compared to the money that you're gonna make. So, but there is room and board there, and there is feeding there 3 times a day probably. I hear the food is good. Dutch Harbor is gonna be an island that's I would imagine small. You can look and see, but it's going to be snowing when you're there. It's not going to be much that you're doing. Everything is in the facility. Yes, you're going to be in man camps. If you don't like that kind of working, then don't go. Don't put your application in. Yes, felons do get hired, because I know some that are working that are felons. It's a different way to work. It's a different way to live, but those people are hired, okay? So that's the information I have. That's the updated information I have. And if you, I'm working on my body here in Petersburg too. So I have a different reason that I'm here, but if this is not the money, money's gonna be, you're gonna get 2 weeks in October for crab season. Other than that, I go to the gym, I go to the plays, I go do something in between seasons. You'll have to find yourself something to do. If you want to live in Alaska, there are people that are hiring and they have positions in seafood processing year round. You'll see that at Alaska Works as well. But go to those companies I said, Westward, that's what I have for today. If I get any other information, I will give it to you. But yes, I said before that I didn't think it was any work, but I was wrong. They do hire in January, February, March, April. That's another contract. And Dutch Harbor, Alaska, okay? So I got to get in to go to work right now. We're going to work a few hours today, and I'm on a working kind of vacation right now. And that's what happens between seasons. So you have to learn to budget your money. You have to learn how to process that money when you have it, because you're going to be off in some seasons, but it's good money, so you can't just spend it all the time. And I'll get back with the things that you're going to need in Dutch Harbor if you want to go. But get your applications in now. And Trident will begin hiring October 1st. Get them in now. If you want to go, get them in now, because that's what needs to happen. All right? I like it. I love you. It's Regine.